Hello, hello, hello. What is up, everyone? Welcome to another edition of the Zeal stream. How's it going? And like last Friday, I am joined with both Mati and Zan, and we're going to get busy with Elixir and Phoenix today again. I'm excited. How's it going, guys?
It's going splendid. I'm excited.
All right, there's lots to do, right? So, let's get into it. So, where we left off last stream was learning Elixir, and we ended the stream with talking about, hey, we're going to dive into Phoenix next because Elixir's cool. We're doing scripting, all the type of good stuff. We're compiling stuff and outputting stuff, but let's actually put this into practice and do some web development, right? So, um, Zan, do you want to kick us off and tell us what we're going to be learning today? I think you're muted, Zan.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Yeah, so we're going to be looking at Phoenix, which is the main or most popular web development framework for Elixir. And it comes with a lot of handy, kind of convenient ways of interacting with the strengths of Elixir, being able to run things concurrently and scale. And then it also comes with a lot of the traditional things that you'd expect from a web development framework in regards to the structure of like controllers, the models, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Cool. So I've heard, rumors told me that Phoenix Framework, if you are familiar with Ruby on Rails, that Phoenix Framework is a pretty easy kind of like intuitive leap to move to use Phoenix Framework. Is that true from your experiences?
Yeah, I think the structure is really similar. So it's easy, like if you're used to building web applications with Rails, then you'll kind of know where to find things initially when you spin up a Phoenix application. I think there's definitely there's like a level deeper that you can dive with it when you do get into kind of managing Elixir processes. That is a somewhat different mindset from Rails, but I think like all the stuff you're used to in regards to creating a CRUD application with Rails, it's going to make sense in Phoenix
Awesome.
as well.
Okay. So, how do we get started with Phoenix? Let's dive in and let's learn how to, so with Rails, in order to get started with Rails, the standard thing is to do a Rails new and then whatever project name you want to do.
Yeah.
How do we do this in Phoenix?
Yeah, so it's going to work exactly the same way. You can say mix phx, and I will note one thing is that I think this phx abbreviation is somewhat new, like within the last few versions of Phoenix. So if you do have an older, if you look at like older blog posts or something, you might see people saying mix Phoenix and then some command, but they've updated it. So it's mix phx new, and then we give it a name. And we have a script here that's going to be sending some like fake notifications that are quotes from famous people. So what we're going to be working on today is showing kind of a feed of quotes as they come in. So what should we name our project?
Let's see. So we're dealing with quotes, right? So
yeah,
I don't know, like quote viewer. Matti, you want to give a? What do you think? Oh,
I think.
Yeah. I can hear.
Yeah. What about quotalizer? Quotalizer. That's a compliment of Dr. Argus in the
Dr. Argus
comments. There. Quotalizer.
Okay, yeah. So.
And do you want to initialize this with the ability to do live views? Yeah.
Okay.
So go ahead. Yeah, I was just going to say to do that, you just pass the -- live
flag at the end there.
Okay, so I guess precursor to this, before the stream, we added Phoenix into the development environment. Adding Phoenix was pretty easy. On their website, they had a one-liner after you have Elixir as a dependency, and it's mix, archive, install, PHP PHX new. So just want to call that out. If anyone's wondering how to set things up, it was just installing Elixir and running that, and it was pretty quick. So okay, so all right, so Quotalizer. Your application name must start with the letter and have only lowercase letters. Okay. So lowercase q Quotalizer. There we go. Okay. Fetch and install all dependencies. Yes. Okay, so that generated a bunch of different stuff. Ooh, it even generated tests. Sample tests. Oh, it even has Webpack in there. So I guess so while this is going on, for the both of you, or if any of you know, like what sort of things when you run this generator, what do you get?
Yeah, so you're gonna get you're gonna get routers, controllers. In this case, since we passed in the live flag, which is gonna allow us to use live view, which we'll go into in a few minutes. It's gonna set up some files for that. It also does add some initial like views and initial JavaScript and CSS assets, which is why you saw, I think it ran npm install and there's Webpack. It sets up your tests. Trying to think what else. I'm not sure, since we don't have any models yet or any database tables, if there is, if we could create a database right now. I think it will be empty, but it does kind of at least set up a migration so that you can create a database named for your application. So if we run mix ecto create, and ecto is it's an Elixir tool for working with Postgres. I think it works with other databases, but I've only used it with Postgres. But yeah, if we run this right now.
Oh, we're not in the project.
Oh, I need to. Yeah, we're not in the project yet. Quotalizer. Nice. All right.
Cool. So we create. Oh no. Let's see. Oh, maybe because this environment doesn't have Postgres in it, or we have to set that up.
Oh, okay.
Well, maybe you have to. Can you run a Phoenix without the database running, or should we go about trying to get this set up?
Let's go without it for now. There is one step where I think we might need to install it, but I think we might be able to get by without it today. Yeah, so I guess once your dependencies are installed, your database is set up. If you're using it, you can run mix phx.server, and that's going to start your server. Okay, yeah, it is training to install Postgres.
Okay. Let's see. Do we have? Let's see if we have Postgres installed. So this is a sandbox environment. So okay, so let's which is why we don't have Postgres in this environment. So this is a good learning lesson. If we're going to be using Phoenix, we need to make sure to have Postgres in it. So apt-get. So do we have Postgres?
If this doesn't work, we might be able to remove it from the app itself, so it doesn't try to load up the Ecto.
Yeah, maybe.
Oh yeah,
that's true.
But
so let me on the side right here. Let me look up Docker Postgres localhost, because Dr. Argus brings up a good idea about potentially running Postgres locally.
Yeah, I'm wondering if we can just comment out the the repo from the children, so it doesn't try it.
Let's yeah, go ahead and give that a try.
Leader repo.
Later.
Wow, this is so collaborative. I love it.
And it's running. There we go.
No database.
That's super cool.
Nice.
Okay, so will there be like some sort of hello world type of so it started a server on localhost 4000. So let me try to open that up and see what it looks like. Wait, that's not correct. So we're using Visual Studio Code Spaces to do a cloud development environment. So there is a little bit of oh, there we go. Okay, so I see this welcome to Phoenix page, and it points you to the Go hex docs. And okay, so this is a really nice like hello world type page.
Yeah. Yeah, so you can get to all the like docs you need and start exploring from here. And see if we can find this view. So most of our application code is under the lib directory. And then within that, we have the Quotalizer web, which is going to have our views and our controllers and our live view code when we get into it. And then the Quotalizer by itself is going to be where our like models, our database repos live, and then also where our application.ex is, which is where it starts all the Elixir processes needed to run the application.
And that's where we comment out the Quotalizer repo, because repo repository is terminology for our database connection. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, so I think maybe the first thing to do is that we can, so I was mentioning earlier that we have this script that's going to start posting some requests to our Phoenix application to generate some quotes. Let's see, I'm actually going to, well, let's set up a route before we start that script, because I think the script will throw an error if it doesn't get a response. So I've got the script. Let me see where I've got it pointing at. It's going to send requests to /API/notifications. So in our Quotalizer app under Quotalizer web, there is a router.ex file. And in that router file, there's going to be the routes for our application. But you'll also notice that there are these sections called pipelines. And pipelines are ways of stringing together functions that will transform a request before it makes its way to the controller that handles that route.
Okay. So that is like, that's basically middleware. So it's like middleware for Node and Rails applications. That's the concept. Okay.
Yeah. Let's see. And so right now we have, and then the other thing that you'll see is that there are sections called that start with scope and then have some URL path. And those are ways of namespacing certain sets, namespacing routes. And then within those scopes, you'll see a pipe through. And that's going to say which one of those pipelines of middleware to pipe request going through this scope to. Yeah. So on line 24, there's a scope that's commented out that came with the application. I'm going to go ahead and uncomment that. And
And that's pointing, and that's going to
Um,
go through a special API pipeline that was already defined on line 13. Okay.
correct. Yeah.
That's cool that it kind of comes pre-configured if you want to do web routes or if you want to do API routes. Like there's no, like with Rails, there's like options. It's like, oh, if you want your Rails application to be optimized for API requests, you have to use this command to start it. Otherwise, you have to build all these classes in there by hand and stuff like that. So that's really cool.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to define a route here. And we can call it notifications. And we need to pass it the controller. So we will, this doesn't exist yet, but I'm going to create this notifications controller. And then we need to pass it the function that it's going to call on that controller module. And now we need to go create that controller. So I'll open the controller folder, notifications, controller.
And it looks like Phoenix is already, at least in development, it's already configured that it reloads its own environment as you make changes, because you added that in, and I immediately see that there's a compiler error in the router. So that's really cool. That makes it easy. No, one of the things that's annoying about doing development in Node, is you have to implement refreshing, especially if you're doing a simple Node server, you have to use nodemon to detect changes and reload, and
right.
and Rails, I guess, does that too. But usually you have to, sometimes I forget if Rails refreshes on routes or if you have to do anything special. But it depends on your change from Herman O. Torres. Hermino Torres. Cool. All right. Sorry, Jan. Continue. Okay, so you've created a notifications controller.
Yeah, and actually, I think looking at the error that compiler error that we did get, I believe that there is something that we need to import into our router. I don't know. We'll see once we set up the notifications controller. But I think because we passed the live flag, it might be working a little bit, or it may not have added all the same stuff to router that is usually there. Let's set up the controller and see if it fixes it, and if not, we can figure out what's missing there. All right, so def module. Let's see. So when you're creating modules, they're generally going to be namespace, like this controller is inside of another module.
And usually the structure to the modules is the same way based off the folder. So kind of like with Ruby and some other programming languages, the first part of your modules, because your controller is kind of like an equalizer web. Is that the convention that's involved with this? Because the def module, you decide the beginning of the module, you decided to call it equalizer web. Is that following the convention of that, since it's located inside, this controller is located inside the equalizer web folder? Okay.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly. And then let's see. So.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Thank you.
Thanks, Lexum.
So when our controllers receive a request, the signature for that is going to be, I mean, you can name this whatever you want, but it's convention to name it con. It's the connection. And then you have your params from your request. And let's see. I believe we can call JSON. Formatting keeps going. All right. And so we'll return that connection, and then we'll return whatever body we want to return. Let's just say hello world for right now. We'll change that momentarily. I think this won't matter so much since our script is not really doing anything with the response. We're gonna do some other things with this request in a second. All right, let's see if that compiler error is still, yeah. So let's figure out what we need to fix that compiler error.
So our compilation error is compiler undefined function post/2, and that's coming from this.
All right,
right here.
So let's see, post/2. I'm gonna Google it to see if I can figure out what module that's supposed to come off of. Then I think we can just import it into our router file.
All right. Let's see.
I think we may be able to add use Phoenix router.
So Dr. Argus might be suggesting that we add braces around the notification controller.
Right here?
Or the index, it's braces around the notification controller, :index. I guess curly braces like this one right here? Is that, but it's not doing that here, so, yeah. all right, Dr. Argus. Variable params is unused. Oh, this is just a warning. Okay. JSON. Okay, so it's still the same error. Redirect. You don't think there's just a post/? Oh.
Oh, okay, I think I got it working. It was in the notifications controller.
Okay.
If you go back over to that at the of that file, I had to add use quotalizer web controller. So I forgot to bring that module in.
Okay. Okay. Cool.
Cool. So let's see. I think maybe right now let's just log out the params. Okay, cool. So in one of the other terminals that we have running in VS Code, I'm gonna go ahead and start up that script. Oh, and I think I might need to, I commented out the portion of the script that actually sends this request. So let me fix that real
So
quick.
then the script is going through that JSON file and just doing rope requests to API notifications, that endpoint we just created.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
And this is going to be using, it looks like it's using some of the principles we covered on last Friday. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we could, if you want to, we can walk through this a little bit. So the first thing is actually in the lib/mix/task directory of this project. So if you go up a little bit, mix, there's a folder that's just a little bit up.
I see it. Task, generate events.
Yeah, exactly. So the thing that I've done here is I created a mix task, which is just like a task that I can run using mix now. And then the class that's actually sending these requests, I am using a package called HTTP Poison, which is an HTTP client for Elixir. So the first thing I do is actually start that Elixir application that client adds, and then I call a function off of the module generate fake events, and this is probably not the most optimal way to do this because it's reading the entire JSON file into memory, and then so on get quotes.
Yeah, right there.
Yeah.
So on there, you're reading the quotes.json file, and then you're piping the output to the handle JSON,
which is just decoding the JSON, parsing it.
So there's a library to encode and decode JSON called JSON. Okay.
Yes, correct. And you'll see there we're using the pattern matching that we talked about last time, where we get an OK status back from that decode, then we process it. Otherwise, if we get an error back, which is represented by the atom error, then we log out that error.
Okay.
And then inside of this process function, I'm taking the quotes and I randomly select one of the quotes from the array in memory, or the list in memory, and then after that I recall the same function so that 3 seconds later it will make another request.
Okay. Oh, that's interesting. So just for readability, you can just do an underscore, and that's like the equivalent of like a comma for writing it out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And then we see the output happening below. So every 3 seconds, it's picking a quote, and then should be doing a request to our server, sending us.
Yeah.
I just switched over to the other tab, and we can see post requests coming in to our API notifications, and we see, a message coming in. Cool. Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So we are now receiving and currently just logging those events. And so I think the next thing is that we actually need to set up a view where we can view those events. And we're going to use live view for that.
Ooh. So what is this live view thing, and how do we use it?
Yeah. So live view is it's something that I'm still kind of learning about, but it is a new way of handling views with Elixir. So it's server side rendered HTML However, it's broken down into components. So rather than returning a whole page, you've got components on your page that are updating in real time.
Oh.
I've been doing some tutorials on these, and I'm new to them, and I come from a spa background. And seeing this, it's blown my mind. It's like writing React, but I'm doing it with Elixir and using WebSockets. It's really cool from what I've seen, at least. Have you done any like production level live view usage, Zan?
No, I have not.
I'm super curious how it scales because I mean I'm reading their docs on it and it says that it's super scalable, and you know it scales vertically from like small to large instances, horizontally, all the ways diagonally if you can scale that way. But it's pretty neat. So like when you create a spa, right? You could create a spa with Rails or Node. You would have to basically scaffold. It's like two applications separated, basically, and you can have them together. Like you could have a React app in the Rails pipeline and like kind of live in the same ecosystem, or you could have a separate React app that's static that communicates to your API. And there's like how much I love that. Like there is a ton of complexity, a ton of scaffolding, and a lot of tooling. I mean, I think a lot of the heartache and headache that people have talked about with the JavaScript world is because of this complexity. And there are problems that it solves. But, if you don't have to do that and you can use something like a live view, I mean, it seems really neat. And I'm kind of a fanboy right now. Like I don't know, but it seems pretty neat from what I've done so far. It would be cool. Do you want to build a live view out to consume
Let's
these
do
quotes?
it. Or actually, so whatever you recommend, Zan or Matti, with what we have. So we have quotes coming in. Let's get them showing up. So how do we do that with with live view, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to drive or do you want me to drive, Zan?
You can drive if you want to.
All right, so I'm gonna pop over to the router, and so this.
All right.
Let's see.
Okay.
This app was scaffolded out with that -- live flag, and I believe if you look at templates live, so there's this live template. No, that's the No, this hang on here. This is templates. There it is. So templates, layout. Oh, okay. So it took it like a second for it to load the directory in this. By the way, this is blowing my mind. Like thinking it back in like 2004 when like I started development with like I don't even think I was using jQuery, and I was using like Visual Studio Code.net with like Visual Source Safe. What we're doing right now is blowing my mind. It's super cool.
Nice.
Like, oh my gosh. So this here, live.html.leex, this is a live template, and they have .leex extensions. So they're a little bit different. And they come in from a different, and the actual live view comes in through the Phoenix live view dependency. So it's not actually part of the core Phoenix code, similar to how Ecto isn't. So when you just scaffold out a Phoenix app, you won't necessarily have this, but you could add it in later. But passing in that -- live kind of sets things up so that it has the Phoenix live dependency. It scaffolds out your live wrapper template. And you see this comes with a couple Flash notifications, which is really cool. Every time I build a React app, it's like, oh, we got to put in notifications. Oh, okay. So let's do that. So it's just cool that it's here, right? And then any live template is then rendered inside of that inner content. And that's, I believe, we go to is there anything in app that no, there wasn't anything in application that we needed router. So in the router itself, we have our one route underneath slash. So here we are. So under the root scope in our Quotalizer web, we're piping it through browser. And you see we actually have a live route right in the start here. So if you that homepage is actually a live route. That's what live is here. Well, let's add a new one. So if we were to add a new one, it'd be live. Let's not be clever and just say quotes. That's pretty easy, and we'll call it like quotes live. And that's all that I'm going to do for that. So that will create the route slash quotes, but it's not doing anything yet. We haven't defined what quotes live is. So let's do that. So if we go over to the Quotalizer web, and then if you look, there should be a live folder in there, and that's where our page live, which is the one that's rendering. So this is actually rendering the home page that we have, and it has all this stuff in here that we haven't talked about yet. We'll get there. But let's create a new module in here, and this will be quotes.ex, right?
Okay.
And so this will do F, and I always forget to do this. I'm not going to forget it this time. I'm going to namespace that. Yeah, if you don't namespace it, it doesn't work. And then this is just quotes, and then I always forget the do. Used to my Rubies. Always forget the do. And so that's defining the module.
Okay.
And similar to what Zan kind of just ran into, where the controller wasn't working, we have to do a similar use block here to bring in the live view. So we'll say we'll use Quotalizer web, and we'll bring in live view. So this is something that was scaffolded out in so many things. Let's just move on from that. We'll keep going. We can talk about that later. And then, so live views have a life cycle, and it's funny. So the main one is mount, and that should be pretty familiar to most folks who've done any React. It's exactly like component did mount. So this is actually called when it's on first load, basically. So and this takes 3 arguments, and I gotta look at my notes to remember exactly what they are, but essentially it takes params, session, and socket. And so for this example, I'm not going to use params, not going to use session, but I do want socket, and it's the socket that has so in the live view world, as I understand it, socket is kind of similar to your state, and so you could think of socket as where you would put things that you want to render in your template. Sounds weird, but that's how that works. And that is your socket connection, so it kind of makes sense. Like you're passing things through the socket. I was about to
say, it seems like that's our connection to receive. Is that, are we just sending through the socket? Are we only going outwards, or does data come through the socket also, or is that through params when we get? Okay.
Both. You could have it both ways. So you can send stuff from here, or other live views can actually send stuff to this live view, which is madness. We won't get to that today. But so the next thing, so there's socket, and then the next thing is assign. And so assign is how you actually, so this is like your set state. This is how you actually set things on socket. And so to set the socket, we would just say that. And so what we're doing is quotes. So let's just, so this is going to be just an empty array of quotes. And if I wanted to add more stuff, I could add more stuff. Like if I wanted to say loading or user, but let's just stick with quotes for now. And so mounts called, and we do need to return a tuple or tuple, however you want to say that. Tuple or tuple?
I always
I say tuple.
I say tuple
right,
because
all right,
that's all I heard in college.
Tuple.
Tuple.
That's what I'm going to say, tuple. Okay, so that'll actually not do anything yet. The next thing, which is pretty important, is the render. And so render looks like this, right? And you can render templates, which we could do, but just to keep things simple, we'll render an inline template. And it uses a thing called a sigil. And Zan, are you familiar with the sigils?
Yeah. I mean, I know what they are. I don't have all of them memorized yet. Like which ones do what?
Yeah, I same. Pretty cool. But so this is using the capital L sigil, and it's 3 quotes like so, right? And then in here we'll say H1. We'll say cool. Close that H1, and then I think that is it. So this should render something. If you go to /quotes,
Okay.
I believe.
Looks like we have some sort of syntax error in quotes. .exe line 6 syntax error end before end keyword before error end. Let me refresh. Let me see if this will just like fix itself. Maybe it just aired out.
I have will not do
maybe I was
ends.
just being weird. Okay, it went away. So /quotes is our route.
Yes. Yes.
Let's see. I got a route error. Let's see. So what is this telling me? I should probably share my screen with you guys in case.
I'm watching the stream, so I get a 5-second delay, but interesting. So your web. What did I do over here? No?
Did I spell it right?
Slash.
Quotes.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay,
Is it
so
it accepts? Oh, this is browser. Okay.
Did I call it quotes? Oh man, you know what? I didn't call it quotes live.
Oh, because it's looking for quotes live. Oh, because of the naming convention.
Yeah, let me rename the file too, so we're actually
okay. So it's being kind of like a Rails-esque, where it looks at you defining quotes inside of the router, and then you define the module quotes live, but we didn't define it quotes live. So then, okay, that's what I was looking for. Okay.
Please try again.
The only thing I don't like about this part forward thing is it takes a little while for it to refresh because it's like verifying like credentials or something. Okay. I see quotes. Oh, okay. That's really cool. So this is like server side, like I don't know, like I guess to like server side rendering in React. It's like a little bit like that,
Yes,
right? At least
it is. It is. It is. It's like server-side rendering React, but not with all the crazy complexity.
so we set up this live view and then on mount, and then we're telling it that when this loads, so it's like React. When we load the page, it calls mount. We do whatever we need to do, and then it
Yeah.
calls the render function, and that's what it displays to the page. And okay, wow,
Yes.
okay, okay, this is really cool.
All right. So the next thing we want to do is we want to show some quotes. And so to do that, I'm going to go back to this template and then do some inline editing here, do some things. And so this syntax here, it's similar to ERB and other server-side script languages. Nothing too fancy there. So I want to iterate through the quote. So I'm going to say for quote, and then arrow, and then the cool thing is because I defined it here in my state, I have access to it like an instance variable right here. I can just say @quotes. And so there's my quotes. Can't forget my do block. And then I'm going to close this out. And like so. And so now here, let's be a little more semantic and put it inside of an unordered list. How about that?
Cool.
And then each one of these will be an li, and we are going to just put the quote in there, like so, like so. Cool. And I suppose. Oh wait, hey. We should close out that. And another thing we could do is say, well, let's just take it one step at a time. So that should, like, we don't have any quotes right now, but now say we wanted to get some quotes, and to do that, we would want to bring in the quote. Where's this quote stuff? Quotalizer. Oh, okay. It's up in there. Quote generator. So we have Quotalizer. Our quotes is currently outside of the project. Zan, how do you think this will? I don't know if these will play well.
So the events are being posted to our application right now. My thought is that we could, as we receive them inside of the notifications controller, we can use Phoenix PubSub to broadcast those events, and then inside of our live view, we can subscribe to those events.
Okay.
So the first thing, let me go back to my notes and grab.
Yeah, I'll follow you, Zan.
Syntax.
I was just like, inspecting the element for the live view, so that the base template with the main, and then we have the alerts, the quote alerts, and then the quote. So like we have the base live view template, and then it injects in whatever view we want. That's cool.
So while Zan's doing that, if you want to jump into the network tab real quick, we can talk about the rendering of the WebSocket. And so if we do a refresh here.
I can. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So you see that there's several WebSockets there. The one with the CSRF token is actually our WebSocket for the live view. The others are for live reload. And yeah, so you can see the, oh, you should see messages in there.
I think while Zan's working on stuff, it's
just, yep, never mind. Well, sorry. No, it's okay.
I'll comment out some stuff, and then I think it should start working again. All right.
waiting for it. There you go. Oh, that's weird. Unexpected response 200. Maybe because we're not sending anything through the live view, or I don't know. I don't know.
Initial payload is sent through there. That's pretty interesting. There's also a helper. So if you go to console, and rather than going through this way, you can just, it attaches a thing called live socket. So if you type L lower, yeah, there it is, live socket dot enable debug. And you call that, that will,
Okay, I see it.
yeah. So look, oh, there it is. There's reloads. Well, that's how you can see what's coming in.
I
your
think
WebSocket.
it might be a little bit weird because we're doing this through a WebSocket, through a port forwarded WebSocket. So maybe it's falling back to polling instead of WebSockets.
WebSocket
Yeah.
inception.
Okay. All right, Zan, what's going on?
All right. Let's see. So first, I'm working on parsing this JSON we are getting in the controller. Getting an error. And define. Oh, whoops. That's why.
Undefined function input.
Yeah, I think that one should be gone accidentally. That was just a typo on my
Okay.
part. But I think I am still getting another error. For some reason, the formatting of the terminal is like cut in half locally.
So argument error IO list to binary, and then it's the entire object.
Playing IO list. Oh, okay. Oh, right. That's not a string. It's an object. So let's actually keep that like it is.
Okay. Let's see.
So less like that. Maybe we can just send the JSON to start working again. No. All right. Maybe we'll just send the JSON to our live view and we can parse it there.
That'll be cool too. Broadcast to Codalizer pub sub. Let's see, unknown registries. Do we have to create a Quotalizer.pubsub object or module?
I believe it should already be in the, yeah, if you look at the application EX, we are creating that. Maybe I wrote this out wrong? Oh, that was the problem. I was calling Quotalizer web pub sub instead of just
There we go.
Quotalizer
Now it's
pub
logging.
sub. Nice.
Sweet.
All right, and so let's see that broadcast. So PubSub is like another process. It's another Elixir application that's being started when we start our Phoenix application. And that broadcast function takes the PubSub system that I'm working with. I believe that you can have like, when you start your application, you can have multiple different PubSub systems running. And then the topic and then the message. And so if we go back to our page live view, then we can call Phoenix PubSub subscribe, and let's see, that is going to take the system that we want to subscribe to again, and then also the that we want to subscribe to. So whenever an event is published to that topic, we can get it here. And let's see, I'll put it right under there, I guess. The live view has a function that is called handle info. I'm going to copy this.
Did you want to do this in the quotes live or the page live?
Oh, sorry, I'm in page live. You're right. This needs to happen in quotes live.
Yeah, this is
It's
like
okay.
the parent
We can just
module,
cut
right?
paste
That
over.
all other
Yeah.
live views would inherit from. So it would still work, kinda, right? But
I think that page live is for the landing page.
oh yeah.
And then what you're thinking of is that the live.html.leex, that's the live view template. That has two Flash
Okay,
notifications.
that's right, because we're not.
Yep.
It's not like Rails where because I'm thinking about channels in Rails where you can have a parent class that all channels inherit from, but we're not that way. We're functional in Elixir.
Yeah. No inheritance here.
You're on your own.
Let's see. All right, so we'll eventually, I believe we can add this to quotes. I may need, Matti, a little bit of help in working with the live view state with that assign function. But let's see if we can log over here. I'm going to remove my logger in the notifications controller because we know we're getting the event there. And then we can log it over here. Oh, there's something. Line 14. Oh.
And missing parentheses around assign.
Yeah.
Yeah. There we go.
Good.
Cool. So then that's happening.
But I don't
So-
think we're getting the event there yet.
Okay.
The notification controller,
Let me
but not
reload the live view.
handling
Maybe
events.
because it listens on mount, right? So maybe I need to reload.
Oh yeah, that might help.
So I tried reloading and don't see anything logging yet. Let me do one more reload for good luck.
Interesting. I can see that. See, do you see that blue loader
Yeah.
right there in the top right? That's the live view loader. So it lets you know when the live view is rendering. Something's going on. But I don't see the output for the. I thought Zan had done some puts or inspect on the
Yeah.
event. We should probably
Um,
see seeing something there. What if we tried to just pattern match on that to just catch that specific published event? Would that make a difference? Because I noticed it was just event there. I'm not sure
yeah,
if that.
sure.
So that would just be the topic, or how would that?
No, I think it would be the payload for the event, which actually I'm not right now. It's just going to be JSON.
Okay.
If we decode it in the controller, then we can pattern match on it.
Oh, I see. I see what you're saying. Yeah, yeah. Oh, well, maybe that's not the right way to do that then. I see what you're saying.
But I think we don't have any other handle info in here.
I guess like the way that handle info is called is when a send commands, when something's sent to the PID for this particular live view. So how is that pub sub actually publishing? I guess that's so is that that's a subscribe up there on line 5. So we're subscribing there. We're saying, hey, I want to listen in on this. Gotcha. Interesting. One thing is that with live view, it's rendered twice. One initial render before the socket connection is established, and then another after the socket is connected. And I don't necessarily think that's causing this issue, but we could add a check to make sure that the actual live view is connected to this socket before we subscribe.
Yeah, on my screen it says that the WebSocket's airing out at the 200, so I wonder if that's it.
Here, I'll add in this. I think if connected to socket, do this, and so that this is good because it's like a double render, and maybe we're subscribing to that twice. I don't know.
Yeah,
And
let me
that
try
might cause some
reloading and
issues.
see what the browser says. So let's see, we did it. We hit the quotes, route pipelines browser, and then we're hitting notifications. Maybe it's an issue with the WebSocket because I can see in my console that there is an error with WebSocket handshake that we were noticing earlier.
Yeah. Interesting.
What ports does the WebSocket, let's see, what ports does the WebSocket run on? Maybe I can fix this. Maybe I have to expose the port.
I don't know either. Let me see if I can figure it out.
Network. I know there's supposed to be like a standard port, right? So Jeff, don't know Elixir, but heard it. It's interesting. How is Elixir compared to Rust? Any reason to switch? And that's from Jeff in the chat. I don't. Do you have any of you worked with Rust before?
I have not used Rust.
Yeah, I haven't used. I'm the same way too. I haven't used Rust before either.
Yeah, same. I guess what I've heard about Rust is it's just hard to kind of get up to speed with it. There's a steep learning curve, but I have some friends that are really into it. I mean, it's probably awesome, but I don't know if it like what its paradigm is. Is it, if it's I think it's like more of like a system level programming language. I may be totally wrong. I mean, maybe it has a web framework.
Yeah, you can do web development in Rust. It will,
Okay.
yeah, it can render and stuff like that. Big learning curve. I feel like based off what I've experienced so far with Phoenix and Elixir, the learning curve's pretty small. It's a functional language. If you're familiar with things like at least Ruby or Python, it's pretty intuitive. And right now we're just covering the Phoenix framework, the web development framework today on stream. And so far it's, other than little hiccups here and there, it's going pretty smoothly. And it's pretty high performant. Elixir is designed for high performance, right?
Yeah.
Let's see. So, yeah, maybe if I can expose the port that WebSockets run on, then I can. It's 44. Is it 443? 80 and 443. So let me try to create a new. Let's see if I can expose a new port. Forward a port. I'm going to forward port 80 and forward port. Local. 443. Oh, I think I got rid of that error.
Nice.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very
Okay.
cool.
So I just had to do a port forward for 443, and at least I'm
Nice.
not getting the error anymore. And then with slash quotes, at least I didn't see anything there, but at least that reduced that error. Now we can figure out what the heck's going on next.
All right.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out what exactly I was doing differently before that I was able to pick up on the events.
That.
Oh, it's still giving a console error though. What the heck? I guess maybe it's not resolved. I'm just getting a delayed console error.
Bummer. Hmm.
I thought I solved it. No. All right, let me see about opening this up. I'm not sure if this is going to kick everyone off the server. I'm going to try to reload it, reloading my, actually, let me try to see if I can open them. We'll try to reload to see if I can preview the server, the browser in VS Code. So let me know if you guys get disconnected right now. Here we go.
All right. Yeah, I think it did disconnect.
Okay, so this thing's starting up again. I think all the terminal sessions ended because I had to restart everything. Well, we'll see. Yeah, it looks like all the terminal sessions ended. So I'll have to restart the stuff. Okay, I'm gonna send you in our Slack the live link, live share link. Looks, and thanks for answering the questions to Jeff. All right, cool. So everyone's joining in. Let me give access to the terminal. And I'm going to do 2 more terminal instances. And give read write access so we can get things running again. So we need to go into Quotalizer. Quotalizer. And all these. So in order to start the server again, we have to do mix, and then what was the command? Serve?
Mix
PHX?
P8.
Mix ph
X.server.
server. Nice. Let's see if I can open up.
Uh-oh. Wait, what was that warning?
Uh,
It said it could not start Phoenix Live something or
Notify
other.
file system. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm also gonna go start that script.
Let's see if this preview browser is going to work for us. There we go. We can see the API requests coming in. Come on. Let me make sure to do some port forwarding just in case. Okay, it remembered the port forwarding. Nice. But
Nice.
but the port forwarding's not exactly working. Dang it! I thought this preview browser thing was going to work for us. Okay, so if we can't get this to publish today, how about we try to publish just strings of text to the live view?
Okay.
Like random strings of text or like whatever, random numbers or something. I don't know. Whatever you guys think.
Oh, I think though. What logging is this?
We do have one error. Nope, it went away.
All right. Yeah, I'd be cool with doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This live coding has any? Sorry, just reading it. Someone in chat.
Maybe what we could do is set. So, Matti, the live view has like an internal state, correct?
Yeah. Well, it has the state on the socket, I believe. Is that what you mean?
Yes.
I guess one way we could do this is like doing we could do an interval and just send something to ourself, our PID, and then handle that. And do something random each time that happens, like generate a quote, I guess.
Okay.
So I guess like I noticed. So what is the init in the live view? What does that do?
Oh, so I was and trying to figure out how to
So to answer your question,
get it to pick up on
Herman,
those events.
Yeah.
That was actually
we're working on the Elixir application to do to display. We're scaffolding. We're doing the intro to Phoenix in Elixir, so we're just scaffolding application and we're playing around with live view right now. That's what we're trying to do. The only downside is we're working in a coding sandbox, and I think that's causing some sort of error right now. At least preventing us from properly using the live view functionality is the assumption.
info event.
Yeah. Gotcha.
That was my next thought on how to try to pick up on that event.
Totally. I have this code right here that we could throw in. So this is an Erlang's timer. It has send interval. We could do this every 1,000 milliseconds. So every second. This is the PID, the process identifier for this particular live view. If I had a PID for another live view, I could put that in here and it would send it to that, I guess. And then this is just whatever identifier I want to use, whatever atom. And then to pick up on that, we could add a handle info, and then that would be quote. That takes a socket, and in here we could say, let's just do socket. Wow, that keeps taking my spaces away. That's weird. Stop it. Oh well. So we would say socket equals assign socket, and just to get this going, let's just put like one quote and just like hello world, and then I'm Rubying right now. How do I how do I do that? Is that how you do that?
I think it's just one, like one on either side.
Okay. Like this. That's how you do it. Okay.
Like that. Yeah.
Too much syntax. And then how about we just get like now? So how do you do that? Date dot now? I don't know. I'm making up stuff.
That's a good question. I guarantee there's a date module.
Can I do enum.random? How about that? And then 1 to like, is it 3 dots? 1,000? Is that how you do that? Like
I think
that?
both 2 and 3 are right. Well, I think 1 is inclusive of the top one and 1 is exclusive of the top one.
Okay. So yeah. So then, and then I want to append this. So maybe I need to get. This is. How do we want to do this? So then, this would be the existing. So the existing one. So then, we'll just call this new quotes for now, and that'll be socket.quotes.
I love the conversations that are happening in the chat right now.
Is that how you? I think that's how you add to a list.
So
plus plus.
Ask plenty of questions
like
because
that.
we have people that know far more than us in the chat right now.
I believe that's how you do that. And then quotes would be something like that. And then we need to say no reply socket thing. Maybe. I don't know.
I thought it was like a. I think we need to do assign socket. Oh, you've already done that. I think that should work.
Okay.
But I think do we need to call this socket something else? Let's see, assign socket.
What we could just do is that. How about that?
Yeah.
All right, ship it.
It looks like we're getting an
I don't know.
error T warning. I'm not sure if that's any of clauses with the same name and error T number of arguments should be grouped together. Oh,
Oh, because we have this other I'm just going to comment out that other handle
Okay.
info for now.
Oh yeah.
okay. All right, so I'm refreshing.
There's something up
Yeah,
with that
hopefully the
WebSocket.
WebSocket's actually going to work. Does it work on your page? If you try to load the site on your machines, does it work for you? Out of curiosity?
Let me try.
Oh wait, there's some messages. Oh, terminating. What the heck? Key quotes not found in live view socket. So it was trying to send the message, but it's complaining that there is key colon quotes not found.
Maybe on line 9, does that need to be
There's a quotes array, quotes colon array object that it's saying that it did find.
Just to avoid confusion, this literally can be anything. We'll just call it thing. And that's thing. That's all that's doing. Yep. Socket.quotes.
Yeah, let's see. Let me scroll down.
See why that would.
No function clause handle. No function clause matching handle. Okay, so now it's complaining about the arity. You can't find the function. I think that's what I understand that as.
No matching handle info.
Yeah, no matching clause for quotes live handle info /2. So yeah, so for some reason it doesn't understand that. What's calling handle info again?
It should be that interval at the top.
Interval. Okay. Okay, up
That-
here. Set interval
It's
self.
yeah. It should be. Yeah. Yep. So I can equal that. See any issues there? No reply. Sign. Well, maybe. Oh, maybe this should be socket and that. I don't know if it is sensitive to the key of socket.
Okay.
What if we try that?
Let's see, what does the error say? So key colon quotes not found in the socket object. Or in the socket, yeah. Socket assigns slash So what happens if you just do
Yeah.
exclamation point quote?
Oh shoot! I I think I know what's up. I think this. Oh no, that's what you were doing, Dan. You were saying you're doing it that way. I gotcha. Okay. Did we? Wait. Did we have it like? Oh gosh, like this before? Is that how that was?
Yeah.
Because that. Okay, gotcha. That's.
Looking
Oh.
at the live view documentation, it seems like either of those should
Yeah.
work.
What if we don't do either of these? Does it work with just like that? That would just be like handling the event.
Oh, it's airing out on line 32. So when we're doing socket.quotes and then the plus plus, I think that's where it's complaining.
Oh, okay.
No wonder.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm doing there.
So it's complaining that it can't find quotes.quote, the quotes reference on socket.quotes.
Oh, yeah. That's not how you do that. Hmm. Do you?
Maybe socket assigns
It
quotes.
looks like. Let's see, what does it say now? It just says argument error now. Let's see. Live view. Was we're trying to pull the value out of the quotes and then add on a new message, right?
Yes.
No project command today, but we're learning Phoenix right now. So just on the screen right there is what we're doing. So Phoenix socket has an assigns change connected endpoint fingerprints parent redirect router view built-in type. I don't know. I'm not familiar with the Phoenix docs yet completely.
This is. I think it's just basic Elixir.
Yeah, Erlang. Phoenix view Erlang.
Oh.
So if we were to just kind of
Can we simplify this example?
do
Yeah.
new quotes and then let's just to see where it's bugging out. Saw the 10 minutes of the Twitter clone video. I feel like everyone's watching that video. both Matti and Zan. Did you watch that video also, Zan? The Twitter clone video? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh man.
So there's an argument error on line 33 now. Okay, so now it's taking issue with, so there's an argument error somewhere in here. I'm just going to do this, get rid of the plus plus. Let's see.
Yep.
Okay, now we have some other horrendous sort of thing.
Oh, you know what? I don't think that. So once we get through that, I think I know how to fix the other thing.
Yeah, go ahead and take over if you want. If you want to try tweaking it to simplify it. You can't concat a string and a number. That's what Lixun says right now.
Oh, okay.
Oh, so this needs
so
to be cast to a string.
Yeah.
So that, how do you do that? That just
I
string
think there's a
dot,
function on the string module. I'm sorry, it's on the integer module. So you can say integer dot toString.
oh, what am I doing? Maybe?
Yeah.
Okay. Now we're getting a different error. We can use string interpolation. That's another call out.
Oh yeah. Why didn't we just do that? Hang on. Let's do that. And just
So our main goal is just to get some text showing on the live view. We generated a live view. Now we just want to show some text dynamically show up in our live view quotes.
oops. I think we did want that, right?
Yeah. Because it's catting them.
All right. Let's see. So the error we're getting now is protocol enumerable, not implemented. Hello world 889 boat type. That seems like not the same error anymore because we just changed that. Wait, oh no, this is a string, so of type bit string. Numeral not implemented of hello world bit string. This protocol implemented following types.
I think what do we got?
Numerable.
There? 2 dots. Let's see what that does. Okay, that works.
Is it the plus plus operation? Oh wait. I don't think we're seeing any errors anymore. Let me refresh. /1 represents error t of 1. Correct. Cool. I don't see the error in the terminal anymore.
Nice.
Now I just want to see these quotes come in.
So I'm wondering, man, we can't see the debug messages coming through, which
Major
is
bummer.
kind of annoying. Yeah, that would be helpful. Strange. Huh.
So let's see, this time to go every second where it sends a message. Yeah, I think at this point we might be facing an issue with the WebSocket not publishing. That sucks.
Interesting.
So it's not doing any sort of fallback. Unexpected code 200 error during handshake. Let's see. No, we're so close.
I know.
Oh, that is not the error I wanted to copy and paste. Let's see if anyone else has had this issue before. Error during WebSocket handshake. We're not the first ones. My computer always runs so slowly when streaming. Seems to be, it could be an issue with cores. Oh. Is there any sort of web traffic configs for domain name stuff in Phoenix? So I know there's something similar to that in Rails.
Let me look at the router file because I think it would be in the pipelines. So this is going through our browser pipeline. I'm gonna try commenting out protect from forgery in our router.
Let me refresh it.
That doesn't work. There is a cores plug that we can try to put in here.
Yeah, still same issue.
Let's see. So I'm gonna add a there. Then we will need to actually let me add this to pipeline. Well, where's this API? Where add it to this?
There might be a what's a config? Config.ex.
I'm gonna restart the server because I gotta install a dependency.
Sure.
Okay. Okay. Next steps.get. Next server.
Config. Let me try refreshing.
No luck.
Now it's giving some sort of thing about CRF token or user token misconfiguration.
Oh. Oh, then we'll need to we'll comment that back. Undo the comment. See if you can try that again.
Now we're just debugging.
Oh, mine's showing up. Go ahead and try and refresh.
All right. Come on, work for me. It's not working for me.
Slow loading really
Yeah.
builds the tension.
Oh, someone's excited behind me. It doesn't work for me, but it's working for
So when
you, Matti.
Yeah, when I load it from, if I open the
Okay.
shared server, it's working. Like,
Do you want to show your screen
me.
so we can see what
Yeah,
it
it's
looks like?
Yeah, yeah. Let me share my screen. Which screen? Start sharing that. So what are we on? 4,000? See my screen?
Let's see. Where is Skype? That's a good question. Yeah. Okay. I got it.
Do you see the quotes? Wait.
Yeah, I see the quotes coming in. Oh.
Oh. Hang on. What happened there? The host
Oh, no.
Oh
ended the
no.
session. Whoa. What happened?
I tried to open up in a different
What?
window, but I saw it for a second. I'm not sure if chat saw it too.
Oh man. That's funny.
Yeah, right when it got it working.
Huh.
All right, let me try to restart
The
we might have to restart the whole thing again, and then we can show chat.
Yes. It does work though.
All right, I'm just gonna reload the workspace and invite everyone back in, and then we can show chat,
Cool.
and then probably end stream from there. I definitely want to do more stuff with Elixir. So time permitting, next time, try to get the other portion of this project, or getting the quotes pushing to it is something I'll probably try to do. And if anyone else wants to join, then feel free to. Okay, let's see. Let me start another live session and give you guys the link again. So lesson learned, if I try to open up a live session in my own VS Code, it will kill the live share session.
I wonder if there's a way to make it like a multi-host live share session, so that as long as someone is connected, keeps
Yeah.
going.
Yeah, that would be a good idea.
Thank you very much, Cairo Optical. Thank you very much for that follow. And then let me go ahead and give you access to the terminals. So in terminal 1, I'll go ahead and go into Quotalizer and do mix phx dot serve.
Server.
There you go. Oh, it even
Yeah.
corrected me. Nice.
Someone in the chat asked when the next time the stream is. It's same time next week.
Cairo
Yeah.
Optical will be back same time next week, which is Friday at 1 p.m. Pacific time. So that's what we'll do. We do our streams every Friday at 1 p.m. Pacific time, and we do all sorts of different things. And today, and I guess for the next stream, we're going to be working more Elixir Phoenix. It looks like some web requests are going into the live view. Oh, okay. I see your screen, Matti. Yes.
Here we
Nice.
are. They're
Do
coming
you
in.
think
Just random
that
numbers.
Well, I guess we never got the other live quotes to work. The quotes that are coming in through the API. Do you think, based off what we've done here, whether it's easy to try to get the quotes that are coming in through the API to display instead?
Potentially.
Yeah, I think once we are able to access those events, we should be able to publish them here pretty easily.
So this is cool. This is the WebSocket connection coming in every second. And if we look at one of these messages, you'll see the content.
There you go.
So here we go. And that was 166, which is right here. So that was that message right there.
Okay, cool. So, and what's rendering
Yep.
to the screen is what this render function is. So when we get a new WebSocket message, it's technically calling this render and spitting this out onto the page, calling render and spitting that out, doing server-side rendering straight to the page. So no, like you were talking about, no React and stuff like that to make this a living kind of document.
To be,
or go ahead.
there is a thin layer of JavaScript in here that Elixir uses, and I think they use a library. It's like DOM for morph DOM, and that's what they use to zip together the static HTML elements, or the static HTML, and then the dynamic values as they come in. And the cool thing is like live view will do diffs and only pass you the stuff, and so it is smart about how it does those, how it does this diffing and the zipping up of the dynamic and static content.
Yeah. So it's still sending it. So it's still using kind of like old school Ajax principles, but instead of the DOM being defined on the client, the DOM's being defined on the server, and then it's just sending over the wire the markup to display, but wrapped in JavaScript too.
And it won't, and it doesn't actually mutate the DOM if it doesn't have to. So a lot of the HTML is cached on the client, and it might only add in one little dynamic content area that changed. And it's over a socket connection, so there's no HTTP handshake going on with every Ajax request, and it's really, really lightweight.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so I definitely want to play with this some more next time. But to be courteous on time, we have, it's almost been 2 hours of working on this. Hopefully you guys had a good time. And if anyone in the chat has questions, feel free to ask any more if you have any. But thank you Forever Stare for calling out the time. Is there anything you guys want to talk about before we call it for today?
Why not?
Well,
look at that.
Look at that. I'm so sad that I can't get it to working. It has to be the domain name URL, because like I'm doing it across an actual host. So I think that I think it has to do with that. Like the local host needs to be configured to recognize that web address versus localhost. Because I'm pretty sure if you went, Matti, if you went to like, was it 127.0.0.1, that is technically localhost. That probably wouldn't, the live view probably wouldn't work. Like, that's my assumption, unless the Phoenix people got clever. All right, let's see. Oh, it still works there. Okay. I don't know what's going on.
Awesome. All right.
Curious to know what we intend to use with Elixir at Zeal. I don't think there's any particular plans in general. I think everyone at Zeal, just a good collection of people at Zeal want to learn Elixir and try. And I'm assuming Zan and Matti, at some point you want to be able to try to build a project using Elixir for a client, right? Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and I have.
Yeah, I know there's been.
No, I was gonna say mine's not as good.
I think one person has brought it up to one of our clients who wanted to use it because of the performance advantages that Elixir brings. They had some massive amount of data that they were dealing with, and so it's a tool that I think we're just starting to introduce when we come into scenarios with high performance needs.
Yeah. And then for myself, I want to try to use it in my own personal projects too. So, because I mean, the live view thing is pretty awesome. I would love that on my pages, and be able to scale over WebSocket connections. Yes. So yes, please. So I already had a conversation with T about why I want to use it, And I can talk about it another time because that requires some precursor knowledge of what I currently have built. So, okay, guys, thanks so much for
Yeah, thanks for
yeah,
having
thanks so
us.
much. This was a wild ride of figuring things out. But I feel like
Super
I feel
fun.
like when everyone learns more when we come across bugs because you get to know the technology a little bit better because we have to figure out why it's not doing what it's supposed to be doing.
Exactly.
All right. So I'll catch you guys. Have a good weekend, and take it easy, Zan and
You as well.
Matti, and
Yeah, you too.
yeah, catch you later.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye bye.
Bye.
All right, switching scenes. All right, everyone. Let's see. So I think we might be worthwhile trying to local dev and tuple for mobbing. The remote sandbox is neat, but it makes Elixir look bad. It's worth trying out some. Hey, we do these things to try out different sandbox environments and try out different things. I mean, Elixir doesn't look too bad if we can get the port to work. That is. I'm like, now I really want to try to get that to work. But yeah, thanks, Lixin. Herman and Argus, uh, Chiroptical. Thanks so much for hanging out, everyone. Thanks for chatting and answering questions for anyone that had questions. Like for Jeff, we'll be back again on Friday. I definitely want to try to get this to work. So I'm going to take this project and clone it down locally and try to use it there. And then we'll just work on this next week and try to get this to work unless there are other plans or other people that want to stream something. But this the focus of the stream is all about learning and growing. So that's the main objective. We play with things, we build things, we have fun doing it, and break things along the way. And if anyone wants to have a stream on any sort of topic, you can reach out to myself, Dr. Argus, or anyone on the Zeal team through Twitter also. And if there's a cool idea that you just want to see, let us know. Or if you like the content we're doing right now, like you want to see more Phoenix Elixir stuff, let us know, and we'll do more of it. So the tentative plan is to do another Elixir Phoenix stream next week because I am 100% brand new to this whole thing. So I would love to play with this more and learn more and build something, and we'll do it together. So let's have some fun. Maybe we can go through that Twitter example project too. All right, everyone. So have a good weekend. Thank you for all the follows, and I hope to catch you next time. Let's figure out who we can raid. Let me find my handy dandy directory of